I'm Brian Posehn. You may know me from my stand-up comedy, or from the TV shows I've been on, like the Sarah Silverman program. I love comic books, metal, and anything nerdy, except furries. They're gross. But that does include Dungeons & Dragons, which I've been playing with the same group of my funny friends for a decade now. So we decided to record us playing the game and turn it into a podcast, and we call it...
Nerd Poker, Dungeons & Dragons with Brian Posehn and friends.
Blaine! Ken!
Sarah!
Sark. Don't forget Gerry.
Hey, I'm Brian Posehn, and you're listening to Nerd Poker, Dungeons & Dragons with Brian Posehn and friends. Hi, friends.
Hello,
Hi,
Nerd Poker with Brian Posehn.
Hi, Brian.
Hi.
We did it.
Right.
What did we do?
All right, that's lunch, everybody.
That was
That's
fun.
a wrap on Nerd Poker.
Oh, I'm exhausted.
Let's take a quick
Episodes are
break.
getting a little thin for the holidays.
balls are sweaty.
We have some PAs bringing some Chipotle in for us.
Even at Christmas time? Your balls are sweaty?
Oh, yeah.
It's getting cold.
They get a little frosty sometimes. I call them snowballs.
With that accent?
Yeah,
Bowels.
snowballs.
Snow bowels.
We have a donor shout-out, Michael Grochowski. He
Chicago?
gave us some money, sure.
It's just a guess.
Thanks, Michael.
He's a character in a John Hughes movie.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Michael.
If you want us to shit on your name, send us money today.
Like, I could have told Polish jokes.
He was, his dad was one of the guys that drove the Ferrari around in Ferris Bueller. One of the valets, I think. I forget which one. Oh, and he also later got shot in the face by Phil Spector. I remember that scene. It's great.
Appreciate it, though, Michael.
Shot more people in the
I
face.
hope you got your
than-
money's worth out of it. Fucking abuse
Sound
we
drubbing.
heaped on you.
What happened last week? What?
All right, so if I remember
It was
right,
a light episode, a lot of fun.
Oh,
yeah,
a lot of hugs.
yeah.
Funny stuff.
Lighthearted. Yeah, it was
the kids.
No, the last episode things got a little dark. I'm not gonna lie, it got a little weird. As I recall, the Parn, the child who had been spying on you out in the tundra, had led you guys.
Even manage to save him.
No, he led you back to his village.
Oh, darn. There goes Parn.
Where the women, the surviving women and children of the village were busily throwing the men into the fire, and upon your arrival, promptly committing suicide and
You may have some mental
self-immolation.
problems.
Hey, this is not
Well, they didn't-
Scott.
they didn't
This is
promptly-
not Sark the DM. This is an evil necromancer doing this
They didn't
shit.
promptly kill themselves. They killed their children in front of us, then recognized what
yeah.
they've done.
Yeah, because he lifted the veil.
He lifted
and
the
that
veil
was,
so they could see
glossing
what they
over
They
had
should have
done.
licked the blades or something.
We don't need
really
to go.
make it
I don't
awful
even
to
want to
him.
go over this anymore. Go listen to that episode if you want to hear it again. But you guys had
Try jerking off to it.
Good luck. I couldn't.
you guys had
Almost.
I pushed myself down a hill and tried to pop my clutch. So you guys had sort of decided to, after that experience, to avoid populated areas, which is sound logic. The idea being you're not sure who has been sampled and cloned by the necromancer.
We got the Bazatsky on him.
That's right. So you decided to, because one of the things that you had recently come into ownership of was a map, and you decided to head into the mountains based on the possibility you think, this is sort of a reach, but after the town, you're a little afraid of what you're going to find at Glenishmore, and there's the possibility of finding a crystal which could help power the ship. So you're heading into the mountains where a mine, some type of mine or something like that, has been marked on this on this map.
It was
that
a
you found
gate with stones
in
embedded
town.
in the
Yeah.
crystals in the gates.
And that's where we left off. I think you guys put the awful village behind you and headed east
We
towards
did,
the mountains.
after looting it for reasons of
Right. Yeah.
for the best of it.
At least
Respect
we didn't
looting.
rape any dead bodies. Got to
right.
give us that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Playing your alignment, you guys. So that's where we left off. You guys were trekking through the snow, and we can just pick back up there. I forget though, off the top of my head, if you had called it a night. I think you had. If you didn't,
we'd set up a watch, and then we had the action. With Parn on Mildred's watch.
Yeah, so you guys were completing the night. So I think
were we going to move, or because we wanted to get away from.
You left the town. So for the sake of just moving things along, we'll say that you guys left the town till you felt like a safe distance had been placed there, and then you set up camp. The night was uneventful, and the sun is now up on the next day. So
let's go get some crystals.
We're making our way towards the crystals on the map.
Okay, so we should also talk about your guys' wardrobe. The ever vigilant forums have pointed out that the party is somewhat imbalanced in how many warm clothes they're wearing, and your goth ass is going to be freezing.
Right.
But there is some clerical Judas mojo that is keeping you somewhat thawed. So we should, I just want to point that out because,
and I'm stunning in a warm thermal Vera Wang.
Yeah, you guys are like all decked out
nice
like
high-collared cape,
a winter fashion show.
Ming the Merciless.
Yeah, I'm still wearing the robe of.
Did I look for anything when we were in Parn's Village? No, right?
Yeah, you did, but
Yeah, you did. It was like browns. And
yeah, you're wearing.
So I have as much as
You have a color palette in mind.
But it should be pointed out though that he was oddly all right in the temperature, even without the.
I would think your people know how to dye things.
Is he wearing like shorts? Like what's his?
He was wearing. Well, in my mind, he was wearing just like odds and ends, like toga style that he'd collected from the skiff when you guys left.
Like, can we see his nipples at all times?
I beg your pardon.
I think maybe before when he would sweat. But now,
now he's wearing. I just want to make sure.
No. Now he's good. Now he looks like an Elictuck native.
The drawings have been insane on the forums. The guy that did all the ones that look like baseball cards.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
And there was a landscape one that was awesome.
Oh, I haven't seen the new ones.
Yeah, the landscape is really good by a guy named Gustav.
I don't know if I saw that.
I did see that.
Yeah, there's a frozen winter landscape of our ship down
with the party setting off.
Does it make you guys sort of intimidated that such talented people are painting our bullshit?
It's kind of crazy.
It touches my heart.
Yeah,
completely. Honestly,
the fact that there's that many people that are actually good, and I love drawing as a kid, but I can never do what any of these people are doing.
No,
it's really good
like
shit.
Next level.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to be attracting a particularly talented group of artists for some reason, because this shit is crazy.
Yeah, the ratio of
the D&D players have wonderful imaginations.
All right. So anyway, we'll continue your guys' adventure here. So you wake up. It's a crisp, clear Venturian morning, and you guys point yourselves east. And
adjacent. Just want to point that out.
That's right.
Parking fines are still the same, dude.
You start crunching your way across the snow. It's actually easier going in the morning because it's still super frozen. It hasn't like melted yet. So you guys make good time. As you start to move, you hear what's become now almost a familiar sound. The distant but not too distant howling of wolves. There's a couple howls, and then they're answered. They seem to be somewhere between you and the mountains, not necessarily close, but you do notice though that they seem to be following you. So every time you move, there's sort of alert howls.
If he's tracking us that way, maybe we should make it a priority to kill them.
I mean, it may not be him, though. It may just be the animals being animals, too.
Could be.
Hunting prey. Or it could be
so
him.
Naive.
Well, we had no evidence that he was collecting anything other than human souls.
Right.
Oh, that's true.
How close
Would
are
he have
they?
to-
What's
would
the
he need
closest
that?
they're getting?
I mean,
mean
it
he
sounds hundreds of meters out. It sounds like, but
I could fly, you know.
you could
I was wondering when you were going to mention that.
with the silence of a hawk.
I could fly, yeah. Except I'd make the scree noise. Yeah.
Do you have any animal? Sometimes clerics have animal powers.
I do.
Yeah.
He does.
yeah.
He just needs them a little bit
I
closer.
need to be
Oh,
closer
sorry.
to
Did
them.
I not hear
yeah.
that?
Maybe
So what's,
no,
what's the
no.
natural enemy of wolves?
That's Sarah talking there.
maybe if you put on some clothes, the wolves will feel a little more comfortable coming closer.
I'm trying.
Do you talk to
if
foxes?
only there was a
Brian?
hot topic here, yeah.
Do you ever talk to foxes?
Yeah,
or-
what does the fox say?
Yes, we did it! Oh my god, we've been setting that up for 2 weeks.
I'm gonna fly up and I'm gonna go follow the sound of the howls.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on the party. Stargoyle and I'll keep track of where the howls are, but we're gonna see if we can see some wolves, see how many of them there are, and if necessary, kill them from above.
Okay. All right. So you guys continue. Heading
I would
east,
never hurt wolves. Me, Blaine.
according to the map. Blackie Green takes off.
Not Blaine.
Blackie, not Blaine, takes off flying, looking for the wolves.
Yeah, fuck those wolves.
Let's have Blackie step out real quick,
Okay.
and then we'll.
Blaine too.
We're both in here. You want to talk to Blackie?
Let's all go back to the ship and get out of here.
Bitch, Blackie Green.
Glimshmore's a lie.
All right, so the only sound is his robes fluttering. He zips off in the direction of the wolves. You guys continue on, and you are only hiking for maybe another 10 minutes, and you can hear almost as if it's almost like you're able to hear an animal's sonar. As he takes off, you hear the wolves howling, and then Pyrrha, as he disappears, you can almost hear the wolves moving around. They definitely are aware of his presence and movement. But he's only gone 10 minutes, and you, Brian, you get, Damien, sorry, you get a little whisper, a little animal whisper in the back of your head, and you don't know where it's coming from, but you know that it has to be close. So the rest of you just have to pretend like you don't know any of this. But it says it speaks to you not in wolf. You're getting a wolf whisper, but the language isn't wolf. Okay. So it's like blah, 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 blah. You can't understand it. You could.
Did I mention these? This is the plane of inbred wolves.
So you hear this, but you don't know where it's coming from. Must be close. Don't understand the language, and it's odd that a wolf is speaking a language other than wolf sounds. It is something that you could mimic. It sounds like a humanoid language. So if you wanted to ask, you could, or you could keep it to yourself.
Ask what?
You could ask somebody like the group. Like you could mimic those sounds. Yeah, I didn't think Damien would. I was just making sure you were aware. All right.
That would make too much sense.
Normally I would write notes for this
really
and just do
shouldn't
it
know
with
that.
Brian, but I don't want to split the group up so much, and we're going to knock
I think
out
you
like...
just did.
Okay, all right.
You split us up
I don't want to talk to him
emotionally.
anymore.
Yeah.
Well, just role play that you guys are still friends for
All
a
right.
couple hours.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
hopefully that wolf wasn't speaking like dwarvish and saying something super important.
God.
Oh, hold on. He's writing a note. Yeah. Did you roll real quick, Brian? Roll a d20 and try and beat your charisma, because I want to see if you betray that you heard something by stopping in your tracks.
Boing, what?
Just a 7.
What's Damien's
Are you asking Sir Richard,
Oh,
or
God.
are you asking?
I'm surprised that paper didn't burst into flame in your hands.
14.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so you hear it and you don't betray, you don't give away that you heard something. Oh, God, he's writing a note. Is this something that you're going to do immediately, or should we keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Hold on, stand by. There we go. He's handing me a secret note. I'm going to read this.
Jerry, what is this moment brought to you?
Deadpool at Nova from Marvel Now. In stores now.
Okay, you try that, but the response you get is actually somewhat urgent sounding, but it's still.
All right, now I tell them.
Okay. What do you say?
Seems like a wolf is trying to communicate with me, which
What?
wouldn't be weird because I can do that. I like to do that. They're nice.
Well, what did
They're
he
a lot
say?
better than humans.
This
Anyway,
nice wolf friend of yours.
he's not speaking in wolf right now. He's speaking in some other sounds humanoid, but I don't recognize the language. But
Is he
I can
speaking
mimic
fox?
it.
By all means.
What's it
please.
sound like?
Yeah.
It sounds a lot like this.
All right, Mildred, you immediately recognize it as Dwarvish.
Oh my god! Wow,
Funny,
sorry,
it
I
sounds
didn't mean
like
to.
He just
it
got
sounds like an
urgent.
extra in the background.
The most recent communication from him was more like.
I swear that I didn't know any. I did not know that was going to
So
happen.
the
It seemed like
Dwarvish
the
speaking
translation
wolves.
of the line that Damien just gave you is halt, please halt.
I translate for everybody.
Short
Okay.
winter is coming.
I assume our wizardly drone is about to light up the wolves, and this is what would be concerning them.
Does it seem? Does
We
he
can't
communicate
if
that?
they're worried about like either us
Should we call them
crossing into their territory, or are they worried and that's the halt, or are they?
Okay, well, can I just
asking
say like?
us?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess I have to say that.
What are
too.
you saying though?
Well, I'm saying like, what is your concern?
Okay.
Are you, are they concerned about us or Blaine? And
All right.
so I have to say that to Brian, and then he has to communicate to the wolf. Or can
Well,
they just hear
technically,
me?
they could probably just hear you if you
Okay.
spoke out loud. You guys don't see any wolves around you, but
Okay, well, I'll
there's-
do that then
As you're
first.
approaching
If you
the
yell, they're wolf ears.
Yeah.
as you approach the mountains, it's getting a little. You're not in a full blown forest, but it's getting a little more woodsy, and there's cover. It's not. It's still. You're looking around, you should be able to see a wolf, but you don't see anything. So it's well disguised. All right, so you ask. Wait, one more time. What did you ask? What are we doing?
It's more funny than you think. I know. Okay. No, yeah, I'm asking like, what
They're
is
all
their
related
concern?
to Charlie Callis.
Are you speaking
Okay.
to us or to our?
Okay, so the message that you don't hear, the message that you get back, Damien, is I should start writing this down because Damien can do.
While this is happening, as I listen to everyone speak Dwarvish with the wolves, I'm considering not bringing anyone into Glenish.
Wasn't it a Duran Duran
Glitchmore
song?
is a wasteland.
Dwarvish
right now.
with the wolves?
We know,
Dwarvish with
did
the
you?
wolves.
see
And
what
it's a good
happened?
thing
Dwarves
because
like
I would
the
be
wolves.
mortified to walk into Glenishmore with a bunch of.
You really
Wolves?
have turned into quite a sour Sally
are
on
badass.
this trip. You used to be so positive.
A palisade. Okay, so
Having a
that's
wolf
what you
posse
get
is
back.
Pretty cool.
Well, I would answer him.
Well, you could answer him in wolf, which you try, but they don't. It doesn't seem like they.
Oh, okay, well, I'll tell them. The wolf is asking if we're originals or copies.
Oh, interesting. We are
Originals.
corn-fed originals.
We are.
Yeah, so.
I am the original, right?
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, we're all originals.
As perfect as that twist would be, no, you're the original. Okay, so as soon as you say originals out loud in Dwarvish, you see like 3, 4, 5 puffs of snow, like little snow, like snipers rising up. And out of these little, as the snow sort of settles, you can see each of the little puffs, 2 figures rise up, dwarvish figures. One of them out of each group, one is wearing like really heavy banded black leather armor.
I'm going to start calling to Blackie while this is all happening, yelling to Blackie like I'm in.
I assume he'll see that they're not wolves.
Yeah, let's not assume anything. With
Okay.
Blackie.
No, I'm not saying not to do it.
I'm going to do
I'm
my
just saying.
version of the Rock,
I hope to
where I'm calling
Christ.
off the airstrike.
So they each one of each pair.
No, Blackie,
they
no.
look like it looks like snipers. It's like a spotter and a sniper. So one of each pair is wearing like thick, and they're almost you could fit in a square. They're so short and squat and stout. And one of them is wearing the armor, and each of them has an odd looking crossbow, and the other in each pair is only rises up till they're on their knees and their hands, and it's almost like a feral. They look feral, and they're wearing furs. They actually have droopy ears. They look like mutated dwarves that almost have a wolfish vibe to
So,
them.
Richard, have you
And
heard anything about this?
you can see that
you
you're
know of the wolf
communicating.
dwarfs?
You're communicating with an actual dwarf, but it looks like it's somehow so wolf that it's able to sort of ping on your animal.
Okay.
So you're speaking to one of the really weird looking feral dwarves. And they rub up against the other dwarf like it's like their master, like their pets, sort of.
Weird.
So they rise up on the dwarves have their crossbows at the ready, but not aimed at you. And
I would tell them we mean them no harm. We're just we just met. We're travelers, and our ship crashed, and we're just passing through.
okay. All right, you say that, but nothing happens. Everyone just stands here for a second in a weird sort
Well,
of.
because they
Mildred
do
might
they
have to
speak?
say that.
Yeah, do they speak common?
It doesn't look like it.
Okay.
This doesn't look like any dwarves you've ever met, but
Right.
they're definitely
But they
there's
speak.
a kin there. Yeah.
Right.
They do seem to be looking at you particularly.
Right. Okay, so what?
Just say it in dwarf.
Do you relay that message as well, or like it's sort of on you to?
Yeah, of course.
to
I'm
talk?
like,
Okay.
I feel like I'm just being an interpreter
Okay.
right now.
Okay, so you tell them, you come in peace, and we're
I
not.
mean, I might want to give them more information because clearly they know about the originals and copies. So,
Right.
But we should also recall Blackie.
I'm already doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
Mid-turn as these guys are coming up out of the snow.
Blackie. Okay, so after a minute, so in the back, you guys are shouting, and after a second, maybe of it getting possibly a little awkward, there's a quiet beat, and one of the dwarves steps forward after hearing your greeting, Mildred. And he steps forward. He slaps the crossbow on his back, and he sort of strides forward, like effortlessly plowing through chest to waist high snow. And he walks right up to you, and you can, as soon as he gets closer, you can smell like skin and wine, and it's like
wine.
Yeah.
Skin.
Some type of he's got like it's not gross, but it's like a spicy. Smells like a
Like a dwarf.
like a dwarf, yeah.
Man.
And he stands like face to face with you, and then he throws his arms out and he gives you this huge bro hug.
I love it.
It's like a Russian dude like hugging another Russian guy,
say,
and
like-
then arm's length and eyeballing, and then another big hug.
Whatever the equivalent of like well met dwarven
right.
brother friend.
All without any words. So he and in his eyes is just like happiness. Super psyched to see a dwarf in this group for whatever reason.
Well, that's good.
So we got that going for us.
He slaps his thigh, and his like weird
Penis.
weird slave / pet thing, wolf dwarf, comes over, bounds over. And he says at the same time as the wolf creature thinks, and Brian hears it, it's almost like in stereo for Brian, but he tells you in Dwarvish, he says, he's like, I don't know where you came from, but we're so happy to see you alive and well. he's like, you guys, your party is invited back to our city. We must go quickly, though. The copies are everywhere.
Yub nub.
Okay, so obviously translating all that.
Yeah.
So
He also asked,
you know these
where
guys?
were you? Where are you from? Where were you bound? Like, what are you doing in this awful wasteland?
How much do we want to share with them right now?
We're
guys?
trying to fix things. We're hoping to
we're hoping to
set the universe back to normal.
I guess we'd say.
do we need to tell them that, or
Well, I guess we should
just
say
that
we come from
Glenishmore?
other worlds that have also come under attack, and that we have been battling the
the
copy
copies
creator.
are a big problem. Yeah, in the copy.
We have been, and that we have,
So he looks slowly at each of you, nodding approvingly, a proud warrior smile on his face, and to each of you he says, and he's like, a fine band of fighters indeed. He's like, you'll be given a hero's welcome.
And well, we must not stay. We are trying to get back on our mission, so we'll accept the hospitality.
Well,
but
if they're
we
dwarves,
would
they're
like to-
in a
we-
mining
we
operation,
have
probably.
we have to talk to you about the crystals.
Yeah. But let's have some wine first. I mean, there's no need to,
You claps you on the. All right, now hold on. I'm gonna have you guys step out, and then I'll get Blackie in.
Should we take a quick break first? Take a break, and then you can hop back in with Blackie.
Okay. All right, we're back.
What a break that was.
That's,
Oh, man,
that was
what a
incredible.
break.
Everyone else is getting a long break, but now we're going to talk about what Blackie sees on his recon trip. So you took off, and you're doing some search for these wolves. And you lift off. You're not it's not a super thick forested area, but the trees are getting increasingly more numerous as you get closer to the mountains at this point. And you should easily be able to see. You get to an altitude that you feel like you're high enough that you can see well, but not too high that you're going to miss some things. And you start to sort of zig back and forth. And as you take off, you can hear the wolves howling, almost in response. And as you sort of tune your ears toward, you can almost hear them sort of trying to relocate and deal. So they definitely saw you lift off.
Okay.
And as you fly up, you start to keep your eye on the ground. And I don't remember. You're doing like a pretty basic flight search, but you're not like a tracker or anything like that, right?
No, I'm just kind of zeroing in on the sound of the howling.
Okay, so from this altitude, I'm saying, you can fly however high you want. How high were you thinking?
I see maybe 35,000 feet. I'm trying to get above this shop here.
Yeah, like, I don't know, what do you say? 40 feet? 50 feet?
Yeah, 50 feet.
See down through the trees. So you get up to about where it sounded like you heard the wolves, and sure enough, you can see tracks that fan out. Not a bunch, but you can see that at least the spot you're at, there was definitely at least 2 or 3 critters here. There's tracks that lead off, and you sort of veer to follow them, and you can see the tracks just in the open snow. They just go, and then they just stop. So it's just like right out in the open, the tracks just end as if something had vanished or taken flight or something like that.
Blink dogs.
So looking around, and you sort of retrace a couple steps, and looking around from this height, you can actually see one of the tracks has stopped, and then it's just blank snow. But just from your vantage point here, you can see that the tracks look like they pick up again, almost like it skipped about 150 feet somehow. So you zoom over there, and you're looking around again, and this time looking down, you see a very strange sort of dwelling. The tracks lead into what looks like almost like an oversized beaver dam, kind of like a big pile of sticks. You probably wouldn't have even seen or noticed it if you'd been ground level, but from up here, it looks decidedly different than the surrounding area.
Wow.
So you can see the tracks lead in there.
So like the wolves are like giant beavers or something, like giant blink beavers.
You're not
Beaver
sure
wolves.
because so far you haven't seen a single living creature. So
Okay. And there's that. Is there howling from the dam?
no. Don't picture anything too big. Picture something more like Yoda's house, but made of sticks. It's like a small little structure.
Okay. And where's this in relation to the party?
Probably, let's see. So 10 minutes. It's probably 25, 30-minute walk towards the mountains. Actually, easy, like a super easy hike, though. So
Okay. I don't really know if I want to torch these wolves for no reason, do I?
I don't know. That's up to you.
Can I sort of like sort of hover there and see if there's any sort of activity?
Yeah. So you levitate there, but nothing. If there is something in there, it's sort of like staying and hiding or something.
Are there and there's no more howling?
There is some howling periodically, but it's not from. It's again from the distance. So there's definitely like a crew of of wolves that seem to be sort of watching, but you don't hear anything close. So,
I think I'm just gonna light this up.
okay,
Yeah, I'll just like magic missile it a couple times.
okay. So you can hit. What does how many projectiles does magic missile fire at your level? Let's find out.
I'm level 6. So
Thumbing through our players' handbooks.
Magic Biffle.
Wizard spells.
sorry, that's just the first level.
Here we go. All right, use the magic missile. Creates up to 5 missiles of magic energy that dart forth from the wizard's fingertip. Let's see. For every 2 extra levels of experience, you get an additional missile. So you have 2 at 3rd, 3 at 5th.
So I get 3 missiles.
3 missiles. Yeah, so you're going to fire a 3-missile magic missile spell into the hut.
Yeah, I'll try to just disperse it nicely.
Okay, so you do that. You have. Let's mark that as you'll have to rememorize magic missile for the moment. But which, by the way, you listeners that have pointed out how casting time works, Blackie, you'll be into this. The casting time is not rounds; it is initiative slots. So a casting time of 3 is not 3 rounds; it's 3 ticks on the initiative list. So you can cast literally within the same round if the casting time's low enough. Anyway,
really?
It's epic, yeah. I've been playing with nerfed casters. It's sort of balanced out since everything was basically nerfed by that, but in comparison to fighters, now you guys get buffed because I'm going to play by those rules because it's way better.
I like it. I like it a lot.
All right, so you cast magic missile. Little sparklers flit out and auger into the hut, and you see smoke at first, embers, and then after a couple minutes it starts to burn.
Okay, good. Good.
But nothing comes out really. If something's in there, it's definitely going to be on fire though.
Okay.
So.
Well then, my work here is done. I'm gonna just sort of like go back up, see where the party is.
Okay.
And just sort of like make a quick check, see if there's any other. If I hear any more howling, I'll zero in on that.
So you fly up. You hear howls go up as smoke starts to rise up into the sky behind you. You can't tell if it's mournful howls or angry howls or just watchful howls, but definitely response. As you fly back, though, when you get closer, you see there's more people your party has met up with some with another group. So from a safe distance, you can see the party. Looks like they're conversing. It looks like Mildred is actually getting like hugged by a group of dwarves who have like some type of animal. Like looks like from here, it looks like an animal, like pets or something. But you can't tell. It looks like dwarves standing next to dwarves on their arms and like their hands and knees. So it's sort of weird.
That is okay.
So I don't know if you want to just fly back to them, or if you. It looks like everything's good. They seem to be chatting. So
okay, then I will. I'll come in for a very low key landing.
Okay, all right. Let me get everyone back in here. Okay. All right, the rest of the party is...
Here they come. They're sitting out here in the Earwolf Studios with the foulest smelling bathroom I've ever smelled in my life. I don't know what it is about the bathroom on the floor of 6565 here.
I thought
it's better than it was last time.
I thought it smelled like a Silent Hill bathroom after the air raid.
Silent but deadly hill.
It smells like rotting nurses.
It's terrible.
You mean Rip Taylor's house?
Confetti and shit. And mustache glue.
Confetti. Wasn't that a Robert Blake cop show?
I want to see you in my office, Confetti.
You always want to see me in your office.
So the wizard lands and there's not a problem?
Okay, so you guys are conversing with these dwarf figures and robes fluttering. Blackie levitates down to see you guys. Looking a little curious about what's happening here. You do hear at this point you hear the wolves howling sort of intensify, and off in the distance you can see a column of black smoke climbing up into the sky. And the dwarf that you're talking to, he turns, and Blackie, you get sort of a nervous feeling in your stomach at this point, but he turns to you, and he's like, you can't understand what he's saying, but he says, he's like, this elf has a sting.
It's a good sting. It's a sting with the police, not the solo sting.
He explains that he's to you, almost sharing and looking to you sometimes for support, Blackie, even though you can't even understand what he's doing. But he shares this brief story of Blackie nearly chasing down one of his scout teams and burning up one of their safe hides. Laughing the whole time, clapping you roughly on the shoulder, Blackie.
Oh, these guys are great.
What happened from your perspective?
It looked like a little nest of weird little blink wolves or something. Some sort of like tracks would go for a while, then disappear, then reappear. So they look like they were kind of headed for this one.
And you
this one's structure, and I just lit it up because fuck it. Sometimes you think differently when you can fly.
It should be said, so there's no confusion, that blink wolves were Blackie's interpretation of the tracks he was seeing.
Right.
He didn't see any actual. Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
I
assume they're just making the wolf
they're the
sounds.
same stuff we saw.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess we quickly
These
fill
dwarf
him in
wolves.
on what is actually
So
happening.
dwarves.
Yeah.
You know what a werewolf is, right?
So did I screw up one of your houses? I'm sorry.
He's like, houses are cheap. Bravery is
Pretty good
rare.
sports.
Luckily, this is the Randy Quaid of dwarf wolves.
They're
The movie Randy Quaid.
they're like
real-
dwarves,
Not
and
the
then
real, the good Randy.
I want to see the movie Randy Quaid.
they're like dwarves, and they have these like half dwarf, half wolf kind of companion-y things.
Okay.
We're friends.
And we can talk. I can speak to them in my native tongue, and then they've invited us. Oh, they asked us first if we were copies or originals.
An important question.
Yes, because it shows that. So when we said originals, and then they've invited us back now for like food
Yeah.
and
And intellectually, Blackie would be fascinated by the fact that whatever these little dwarves that are acting like animals are so somehow in tune with their animal that Damien's animal sense is actually able to communicate with them as if they were wolves, but they're not. So
Wow.
That's how we first started talking.
Yeah.
so they're like wolves that speak the dwarven tongue.
Well, they're like dwarves that are pretending to be wolves so good that they can speak wolfish, sort of, mentally. Think like the feral kid in Road Warrior.
What's that kid doing now?
American Weird Dwarf in London.
A lot of meth.
The lead guy, his name is Trondor. Trondor.
Oh.
He's invited you back to his city. He says that his king is going to be so excited to see you, so happy that they found some it's sort of finger quote originals. It's a word that you kind of had to, it was like a dialect interpretation, but so happy they found some originals.
Are there not many originals left?
He says, I'm just assuming everything's getting translated.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to ask specifically about Glenishmore?
Yes, absolutely. That's
okay, so he says, he shakes his head and he says, very, very few. And when you ask about Glenishmore, he takes his leather studded or his metal studded leather cap off his hat and he holds it over his thick chest.
Metal studded leather cap.
Revealing
Is it Udo Dirkschneider?
Get your balls through the wall. He has like an epic, totally bald, and this epic hair bundled up under his helmet. And he shakes his head and he's
smells like coconut.
Are you Glenishmorian knight?
I can't answer, but I nod and.
All right. His thick dwarvish lip actually trembles like it's gonna cry, and he's like, condolences. He's like, we haven't gotten word out of Glenishmore in weeks. He explains that one day, before anyone knew about the copies and the originals, one day everyone just started fighting. They're not sure why or how, and they only have recently started to find that there is actually they've noticed that some people have duplicates, and one of the two is seems to be insane or under the control of something. So yeah,
I'm knocked to my knees. I dropped to my knees. This is.
So he says, he's like, there's still hope. Oh, God. What? He says that, there is still hope. There was a siege.
Got caught with it.
There was a siege. We're not sure if the copies managed to, overrun Glenishmore. Because basically they were already fully infiltrated in a lot of places, so... He's like, it is, the keep is walled, so maybe they were able to kill the copies and there could be some surviving originals inside. He's like, I don't know, though. He said once the shit started going down, and he says this with a matter of pride that could be sort of offensive, but he seems to be generally a jovial guy, so I don't think it's meant that way. But he says, no dwarves have been touched by this plague. He's like, as soon as the fighting started, we sealed up the gates to our city, and only us scouts are allowed out. And if there's ever any doubt about our identity, we have to kill ourselves in front of the gate. If they doubt our identity, they will.
Can I just ask a game question, since we've been playing this for 2 years and I've forgotten some of what has transpired or whatever?
So I'm just going to make it up.
So wasn't the deal is that the women women have been cloned and the men were
where we were, we found that the women were cloned,
only.
but we did find male clones elsewhere in the ship.
You found men hardwired in for something else, but only the women were cloned.
Right.
So because we have been playing for so long, it seems, we'll just say that these are deductions. because you guys have sort of been around this a couple times, but it seems that this was a long con on the part of the necromancer, and that rather than trying an all-out attack, which may have ended it poorly, he seems to have been attempting to breed in his sort of soul virus.
Oh, okay, right. That's what you had said. We talked sort of briefly about that last week, I think, with the kids.
Yeah. So this was sort of a long...
Grayed out by the bar
So
case.
the women were clones, and then, I think we alluded
and then the
to this
kids
last
they
week, and
had
the
were
kids they had.
clones.
Okay.
But what you guys don't know, and now it seems that maybe you're getting more intel along these lines, is how long this has been going on. And it seems like now, if this number of people, at least here, have been... there's probably generations that this has been happening in different areas. So
Cool.
You
Well,
have
that seems-
a navel, don't you, Jerry? I mean, if this goes generations back.
How dare you call
I'm
him Jerry?
grieving for Glenishmore. I'm not going to do the truffle shuffle on the ice for your...
if he was...
You could do the truffle
if
shuffle.
he was a copy,
On ice?
you probably all would have gotten gauntleted in your sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break.
And get gauntleted.
What's this break brought to you by?
This break is brought to you by Corals Jr., not affiliated with Carl's Jr. Corals Jr. If it doesn't get all over the place, it belongs in your face.
Gather around, folks. It's the holiday season. The season of giving, love, and playing D&T till you drop. Don't overcomplicate the season. Simplify your life by doing all your shopping at the brand spanking new Earwolf store and spend the extra time you save playing the game of champions. Not only does the store have new t-shirts, but it's also got 4 new Earwolf-themed pint glasses, tote bags, posters, hoodies, limited edition Hot Saucer Man, and the fabulous Kulap Valali socks. At least go check it out. We've got a ton of new photos up in the store, and the new layout is super intuitive. Head to http://storeearwolf.com ASAP. We've got great deals on all your favorite Earwolf gear. Plus, we've still got the awesome Nerd Poker dice bags. Fumble your dice no more. The 3x4 black velveteen bag with metallic silver lettering is so cool, I think it could reduce even Damian Wormwood Darkaman to giggles. Sounds like it is now. So what are you waiting for? You'll find everything you'd ever dream of at store.earwolf.com. And we're back.
All right. So, yeah. Trondor is inviting you guys back to his town. I guess that's the next move, right?
This episode, The Invitation of Trondor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Jerry, Sir Richard is heartbroken right now.
You can
Yeah, of
drink,
course.
drink his
We're-
sorrows. away,
I'm
hopefully.
rememorizing some stuff.
Soothe his
Yes.
troubled heart.
Okay. Well, this is level 1, so it'll be only be 10 minutes. It will only be 10 minutes. So
I'm also going to rememorize Fly too, so I can be totally Fly. And I'm also going to rememorize Dapper and Beau Brummel.
What level's Fly? 2?
Fly is 2, yes.
Okay.
No, Fly might be 3 actually.
So we can just make the arrangement that you guys chill,
Fly's 3.
get everything memorized, get everything in order, and then you start moving again with the dwarves. So the other dwarves, the rest of the crew, they fan out.
Get pictures of One Direction.
And are rapidly out of sight. But Trondor and his little sidekick, who the more you see moving around, the more you realize it's not a mutant at all. It's just a really weird dwarf, like a small. You're not sure if it's if it is maybe a mutant, if it was bred like this, or what it is. But they definitely run around on their hands and knees and feet, like hunched over.
Didn't Fred Flintstone get hit in the head once and think he was a dog? Maybe that happened to him. Maybe he got hit in the head by Fred Flintstone.
As we walk, I ask him about their companions.
Okay, so he introduces his companion as Wiggy. And he
bears
says,
and otters. It's pretty
and he says that these are our wolf kind. He's like that we've when a wolf kind is born into the dwarf city, he's like they're given up by the parents into service as scouts. He's like most dwarves don't ever even come out, at least from this part of the world. Most dwarves don't ever even leave the mountains. They don't ever even go to the surface. But hundreds of years ago, the dwarves realized that there was value to connections with the races up top, and so the scouts and the diplomatic wing of the dwarves work up top. So the wiggies of the dwarves become like these weird pets. They're not. He's not sure.
What's happening?
He's not sure how it started. That sort of comes across in his conversation as a sort of a lewd joke about maybe some dwarf fucked a wolf, and then it's like arm slapping and happening. But,
There's danger turning the barrel.
But he says that the wolves in this region are like renowned for their ferocity and their
Have you ever seen the Mr. Hands video?
Too much.
Don't Google it, friends.
So
do not Google.
Basically,
Mr. Hands.
they're just sort of it's like a birth defect that they're not sure where it originated, but these dwarves are able to move very rapidly, and they have like animal senses. So
Cool.
The more you know. We'll be right back.
TMI.
How about that?
No, just enough eye.
So he and Wiggy sort of take point, and they're leading you back to the gate, which you presume is if it's not the one on the map, then it's something similar.
Is this a little bit of a trek?
It's a little bit of a trek. He says it's probably be a couple days, but that that you're under the protection of the dwarves now. So, is there anything you guys? Because we can just skip through the next couple days, unless there's something you wanted to do.
I would tell Sir Richard that I'm sorry for his loss, but that we should still go there to confirm it for ourselves.
Thank you.
He's coming.
And then,
I
We
asked
want to
if they
see
have
the
any-
body of your land.
Do they have any wineskins or for Sir Richard, who is grieving?
He literally face palms himself with where are my manners? What was I
Love this
thinking?
guy.
And he
Cut to spring break footage.
So he unslings his backpack, what you thought was his backpack, and it's just a giant wine skin on a frame. Like there
It's
isn't
like a
even
platypus,
there's like
hiking
no
thing.
there's no survival goods to be seen anywhere. He just unslings his backpack and the whole thing sloshes, and he comes over and offers you a little stone cup, and there's a little spigot.
I really shouldn't, but
Come on, how many times does your land get destroyed?
All right.
It's dwarf wolf wine.
Yeah, so he unspigots his little nozzle and fills the
I
stone
bet he
cup.
does.
And it's thick too. It's like Cabernet molasses. It's some hearty dwarf wine.
Nice.
You feel your whole insides sort of start to simmer. Anybody else wants any? They can get in on it right now. But Damien's down. He silently raised his hand.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll have some.
Okay, all
It
right.
did really look like you were asking for some molasses wine.
Yeah, very eagerly.
Yeah.
I was given the 5-minute signal.
He raised his hand to tell me 5 minutes.
What's up?
Well, so I want some.
I'm like, no one can hear that.
I would love some delicious wine.
Okay, so
I love thick wine.
anyone who wants has
That
dwarf
fuck me up right now.
dwarf brew coursing through their
You
systems.
need just enough to take the edge off, but not so much that you know. go crazy.
And the whole time talking to you guys about how glad, he's just super psyched to have found you guys. 2 days go by.
I would take a drink.
Oh, okay, all right.
Does it have hallucinogenic properties?
Not on the one cup.
Sir Richard's going to find out because I'm on cup 2.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, definitely the colors seem brighter and the air seems fresher.
Don't bogart the backpack.
All right, so
I have room for a third.
Oh boy.
Yep.
My guy's suddenly acting like Marilyn Manson on Talking Dead.
You.
This isn't D&D. This is A&A.
Yeah. Both of you now in Trondor's eyes, there's a language barrier, but you can see in his eyes that you are honorary dwarves at this point.
I bet they're gonna fuck. Once enemies.
So a couple days go by. It's uneventful, other than an endless stream of stories of dwarven valor. And
when's Patton going to show up and play one of these guys?
Yeah, I know. And telling you guys how much fun you're going to have once you get back to the city.
I don't care about fun.
Oh boy.
I don't want to have fun.
All right.
Yeah, Sir Richard.
You're
2 days
really
of this,
Irish now.
Sir Richard is like, yeah,
Red cheeks and a red nose. Little bubbles say hick coming out of his mouth.
Black eye with his wife.
Post.
So you gather that the city that he's taking you to is called Vex, and that this king that he keeps talking about being so psyched that he will have found originals, whether they're dwarvish or not, is called Gron. King Gron.
Gron.
Yeah.
Trondor is taking us to meet Gron.
That's right.
In Vex.
Welcome to D&D.
Okay, so 2 days later, the sun is it's late afternoon. It's getting
I've had more wine.
yeah. Hold on, I need to make a note of this. You guys get to
Throw up 4 hit points.
the sun.
He's got a marked on CNS damage.
The sun
Oh
basically
my God!
has
There's
gone
Rumpelmans
down.
and Clamato shot.
You guys have approached close enough to the mountains now so that the sun is going behind them very early, but it's still light outside, and you approach a cliff face that ends up sort of funneling you into this really narrow ravine. You haven't seen any other dwarves or wolf kind at all, but you follow Trondor into this ravine, and he says, "Oh, we're getting close now. It's right up here." And he eventually leads you to the. Oh, Blackie, yes.
No, I was gonna say this isn't a cookbook, is it?
Oh, I see. No. I wish that all the listeners could see how nervous everyone's faces just got as soon as it got claustrophobic.
Not mine.
Not mine. Homie.
That's true.
Fucking
So he leads you to the to the end of this ravine, and you see there's a stone. Basically a stone wall, and he walks up to it. You wouldn't have called it a door. This is sort of like it's like the side entrance to the Lonely Mountain in The Hobbit. Like it's almost indistinguishable from the rest of the cliff face, sort of. But as he approaches it, since you know that there's something there, your brain is able to sort of faintly make out like a portal-sized shaped, carving almost. And this is approximately on your map where there's a door with crystals around it, but there's no crystals around this cliff face or anything.
Where the fuck are the crystals?
So he walks up to it.
I'm keeping an eye on Sir Richard, maybe cutting him off.
Yeah, he's following the wine backpack like a cartoon character following a good smell. Like, woo, woo. Trondor, he walks up to the wall and he fishes under his armor and he pulls out it looks like a stone, like a necklace with a stone amulet on it, and he presses it up against the cliff, and there's this really heavy grinding sound and this not huge, but it's like a 20-foot chunk of the cliff.
Shit. What the fuck?
Sir Richard. See that? Sir Richard sees 3 major doorways open up in front of him.
Which one are we taking?
Middle one.
So it grinds open.
Middle one,
and
right.
Trondor announces inside you can see guards peering around. There's it looks like a passage that angles down immediately. There's really like broad stairways, like a stairway that seems to angle down into the mountain. And he announces to the guards, he's like, "Fetch, prepare a feast. Fetch our guests robes." He's like, tonight we celebrate. And the guards scuttle off, and he beckons you guys into the tunnel, which from here looks super dark. But as you sort of peek into it, down the steps you can see torches, and it looks like actually rather, as far as passages that angle down at 45 degrees into the heart of a mountain range go, pretty homey.
I'm claustrophobic.
We should call it and see what happens.
All right.
I spent some time in a cell.
Welcome to Vex.
I don't know if I want to go in there.
Oh, boy. Blaine, you got anything?
I'm going to be holding Sir Richard's hair all this weekend. So come on by and take a couple of selfies. Photobomb yourself of me holding his hair while he has horrible diarrhea over the urinal.
Issue 20 of Deadpool is out, right?
Issue 20 is
or will
out,
be.
Yeah, and issue 21 also before the end of the month.
Okay. 20 is a lot of fun. Well, I mean, they're all great, but 20 is one of the silly ones.
Hey, does this air tomorrow?
No. Next week. Yeah.
Okay, good. Right.
And then I'll be in Dallas and Fort Worth at Hyenas, one of my favorite clubs. I'll be there this weekend.
Nice.
Thanks.
And check out Nova 11.
Oh, yeah.
Nova 11 this month.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
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 This has been an Earwolf Media production. Executive producers Jeff Ulrich and Scott Ackerman. For more information, visit earwolf.com.
Earwolfradio.com